So Rasheeda, you've been writing poetry for a while. Tell us, how long have you been writing poetry and why did you start?
Yeah, I think I've been writing probably since I was about 12, 13, so close to 15 years now.
Okay.
And yeah, why did I start? I actually was inspired. I think I'd always loved words, but I was actually inspired by a young lady that we now know as Michaela Cole, who I grew up going to church with and who wrote poetry and produced a poetry album called Fixing Barbie a very, very long time ago now.
So this is the young lady who created the series for Channel 4.
Yep.
Bubble Chewing Gum?
Chewing Gum and I May Destroy You.
That's right. And then she was in the recent Black Panther film as well.
Was she? I can't remember.
Yeah, the second one.
Okay, yeah.
You didn't see it?
It's blurry, the second one to me. It's a bit blurry.
She was in that.
Yeah.
She's risen to heights.
Yes, she has indeed.
Okay, so you used to see her performing in church.
Yep.
I liked what she was doing. I thought, I could do that.
That's what happened.
Oh wow!
And the rest is history.
Inspired you.
She absolutely did.
Okay. Does she know this, by the way?
I don't. She probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. Hopefully one day I'll get to tell her.
Okay. Well done.
No, thank
So
you.
when you started writing the poetry, what were you writing about initially?
I think generally a lot of my writing has always been about my experience as a young black person, black girl, black woman, looking at the world around me, looking at society and justice. Just the world from my lens. Yeah, that's generally where my writing has kind of stemmed from.
So how many poems would you say you've written now?
Boy, countless. We must be in the at least 100.
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay.
At least 100.
And it looks like you're covering issues which sometimes the rest of the world doesn't know about or don't care about.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the poem that you read for us earlier on about young black girls disappearing. We hardly hear about that in the news.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what art should do. It should speak to the issues. Speak to the issues. I think that's the role of the artist.
Okay. Now you have other business interests as well. So for instance, food. Tell us about your food business.
Yeah, so I have a food catering company called M-Square Meals, which specialises in plant-based, vegan, Caribbean food. So I started that up during the pandemic. There was definitely a gap in the market, particularly where I lived in terms of wholesome, vegan, Caribbean food. So I wanted to make it more accessible for people to know that it is possible to be vegan and Caribbean and eat food that actually tastes nice.
Yes.
That's something I do. I do catering for an event that I run with my sister and my cousin called the Orange Room Collective. Used to be on Deliveroo, but it took too much money, so now we're doing it a little bit differently, mainly doing catering and meal preps for people who request.
Okay. Oh, I see. If anyone is holding an event and they need, say, 50 of a particular item or 100 of a particular item,
Yep.
or a menu,
Yep.
you could do that for them.
Yeah, we can make that happen for sure.
Okay, great. So tell me about the Orange Room.
Yes, okay, so the Orange Room is collective. It's a collective I run with my sister Shani and cousin Maya. And the heart of it is about bringing black creatives from Southeast London, Woolwich in particular, together to create magical evenings and spaces. So we run an open mic night every 2 months at Woolwich Works here. It's an opportunity for poets, storytellers, rappers, musicians to get up, do their thing. We have a live band who kind of jam with them, which is a really nice element to things. So it's a really special experience for the artists as well. The heart of it is about creating a safe, community, comfortable space, and a space on the household that we grew up, our dining room, painted orange, we call it the Orange Room.
Oh.
Always been a space of community, kindness, care, and we're trying to reflect that in the events that we put on now.
So how many people tend to come to these events?
Our open mics are really, really successful. So we generally have about 150 people, sometimes more. We also run a community conversation event, which is a smaller, more intimate event. And for that, we generally maybe have about 50, 60 people. So we discuss different topics that are kind of pertinent at the time.
Give me some examples of the topics you discuss.
Yeah, so the last event we had, we discussed sickle cell and dating. Sickle cell is an issue that affects predominantly the black community and affects young people who have the trait or the condition as it relates to dating. So we explored, how important it is to have conversations about health when dating. We've also discussed, what else have we discussed? We discussed friendship as true love. We discussed the mayoral election and the lead up to that, and what Londoners need, what young Londoners in particular need from our leaders. So a real range of social, political, kind of emotional topics.
Okay. You took part in a youth parliament once, didn't you?
Long time ago.
Tell us about that.
So when I was young, I was really involved, like politically, locally.
How old were you?
I was 15, I think, at the time.
Okay.
So I represented Greenwich for UK Youth Parliament. But actually, I didn't have the best experience. So when I was, local and doing stuff with young people locally, it was incredible. But when we went to a residential with all of the young people representing their various constituencies, me and my friend, who were one of the only few black people present, were accused of selling drugs.
No way!
Yeah, we were searched and it was horrible. It was a horrible experience. And after that, I decided to put that aside and I started my own thing.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed. It was.
I hope your parents complained.
They were very adamant about complaining, my dad in particular, but I basically begged him not to.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is something I now regret, but I think at the time, and this is the thing about these stereotypes, I didn't want to be the black girl making a fuss.
Oh, wow.
But on reflection, if that was me now, or that happened to my niece or little sister, I would cause hell. I would raise hell.
Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness.
The beauty of hindsight and learning and wisdom.
Because I see you as a very talented young lady, I mean, you could do anything, whether it's in politics, business, certainly in terms of the lyrics that you're producing. We would make great rap albums. And to see that you've been through times when people have tried to hold you down, or tell lies on you or not believe you.
Yeah.
It's just really shocking,
Yeah.
But you're still progressing, you're still going upwards.
Yeah.
So well done to you.
Thank you so much.
So, are you going to put your poetry into books?
Yes, I think after having some conversations today, something I want to work on doing. I've got so many poems, like I said, and I think it would be wonderful to have them all in one place for other people to tap into, and to just have some of my work in a more accessible format, like out in the world.
Yeah, you also did a degree, didn't you? What was that in?
Yeah, I did Politics and Social Anthropology degree at SOAS.
Okay. How did that go?
Yeah, I didn't necessarily enjoy the institution very much, but in my last year, when I was able to kind of write my own dissertation and do some of my own independent research, I did have a good final experience. But socially, it wasn't amazing. But I've got that under my belt, and I would like to probably do some further study at some point. So.
Yeah. Well, both of your parents have doctorates, don't they? So you're certainly in the right space for that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
We must also let the audience know you gained a first from your degree.
I did get a first in my degree.
Not many people get a first in their degree.
There we go.
So it's fantastic. And SOAS, for people who don't know, stands for what?
Stands for School of Oriental and African Studies. So they specialise in Asia and Africa. Unfortunately, most of the academics are not Asian or African, so I struggled with that. But we made it through.
Yeah,
we
you made it through. Well, I expect to see great things from you. There was an organisation you started when you were younger called Revolution.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so like I said, after my terrible UK Youth Parliament experience, I was like, I don't want to deal with these people anymore. I want to run something that is run for young people, by young people. And so I started Revolution London, which was a community organisation based in Woolwich. And we put on events for young people. So we put on monthly debates, similar to our community conversations that we run now. The Orange Room Collective was a place for young people to kind of, learn, engage politically, socially. We did a lot of kind of community outreach stuff as well. So we did a lot of stuff for young mums in the area. We did homework clubs, after school clubs. We did annual book drive where we invited young people from the area to come and get free books that were donated by elders who had recently finished their studies, and they were able to give their books and resources to younger people who were getting started. So we did some great things, ran it for 8 years. We closed down during the pandemic in 2021. Like I said, we were youth-led, and a lot of people had kind of gone on to do amazing things, as we would have hoped. And unfortunately, hadn't really built a legacy for the next generation to continue it. But I tried to take that learning into the things that I'm doing going forward to ensure that even if you are no longer present, there can be a legacy to the work that you do.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah. Well, I think your experience there, if you could document that, that will be helpful for others who are continuing to create spaces like that. But as you said, you're continuing that in the Orange Room, more or less. So exactly. Revolution is a fantastic name. Did you come up with that name?
I did. Okay. So it was based on the view that you can be the revolution.
Yeah.
So it was like Revol, Yoution.
Okay.
Very much about the agency of young people to cause change. That was kind of the heart of the bed.
Okay, and another interesting thing that you did is that you did a TED Talk.
I did do a TED Talk.
Tell us about that.
So when I was 18, I was meant to go to university, but I wanted to take a gap year. So I took a gap year. Just tried to get as many opportunities as I could. There was an opportunity to speak at TEDx London. It's called TEDx London now, but at the time it was TEDx East End. There was an opportunity. They were looking for under 25s who wanted to do a talk. They would give them a little bit more support. So I applied for that. I was successful. Did a TED Talk at the Hackney Empire in 2017 when I was 19. It was amazing experience.
What did you talk about?
So I spoke about grime music, rap, UK rap, as a force for men to kind of unpack some of their patriarchal masculinity. At the time, there was a kind of back and forth between two cousin rappers, Cadet, who has unfortunately now passed away, and his cousin Fret.
Yeah.
And the songs were called Letter to Cadet and Letter to Correct. And they were basically talking about their challenges as cousins and their relationship. And I just thought it was really powerful and an example of how rap music can be a vehicle for black men to be vulnerable, and how that's really important. The feminist cause, making change, unpacking toxic masculinity. That's what the talk was about. I think my views have changed slightly now, but that's what's supposed to happen. Yeah, I mean, I was 19 at the time, nearly 27, so you're meant to grow and change.
Okay.
But at the time, I was very proud of it.
Okay.
Sure. And still am today, because it's a big achievement to do.
Well, we'll put a link to that talk under the video so people can look back and see what you managed to achieve at such a young age. So well done. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
It's been lovely.
We're actually at Woolwich Works, and people can hear that there's a lot of lively activity happening around us.
Yes.
This is where you hold your events, don't you? They have several event spaces, several rooms, and you hold your events in one of the rooms upstairs. So well done with that. Congratulations on everything that you do. And we're looking to see big things from you.
I hope I'm able to deliver.
Well, I'll be keeping an eye on you.
I
And,
appreciate you.
we'll be encouraging you.
Yes, no, thank you
So
so
well
much.
done, and thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.